we're being joined by our second guest of the evening. He is UFC lightweight 11-3 Tony Martin. Tony is coming off a unanimous decision victory over Alex White. Is now slated to take on Johnny Hollywood Case June 24th at UFC Fight Night 112. Tony, how are we feeling this evening? How's your Father's Day going, brother?
I'm feeling great, man. Everything's going good. I just got to OKC, actually. So we're set up in the hotel already, and we're just getting ready to, get the show on the road.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure you're ready to go. I mean, you got a good guy to really test yourself against in Johnny Case. I'm really looking forward to this matchup, man.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. I think it's a great matchup for myself. I think that my skill set is. I think I have a really good skill set to really pick apart Johnny Case. So I'm pretty excited about the fight, and I've been trying to fight Johnny Case for 4 to 5 years now. So it's kind of one of those things that has finally come through, and I haven't been more excited for a fight.
Hey, Tony, real quick, what's the backstory? What's the backstory on that? Why have you been trying to get it for a long time?
Yeah, I've been trying to fight Case for since I was. He grew up in Iowa, and I was in Minnesota, and then so when I was 1-0, he was the guy at that time. I think he had about 16 pro fights already, and so ever since I was pro, I was trying to fight the toughest guys, and he was on the list. So we kept trying to send to his manager and say, hey, let's fight. And at first they were just kind of making excuses, just saying, hey, you don't have enough fights, which at that time made sense. Then I was 6-0, 7-0, and we were in talks with Joe Silva already, and Joe was sending us some names of guys to fight. He was on the list. So we reached out saying, hey, Joe Silva wants to see this fight. And they're just like, no, it's a UFC level fight. And then, so I didn't dislike him at the time until he called out Joe Ellenberger off when Joe was coming off a loss, and I was coming off my first UFC win. And he said he wanted to fight in the Midwest against a Midwest guy because Joe's from the Midwest. So I just reached out, and we're friends on Facebook, and I just said, hey, I'll jump in there and fight. You want to fight in the Midwest? It'll be a great fight for everyone. Everyone's been wanting to see this fight for years in the Midwest. People have talked about it, and a lot of people have tried to get the fight to happen. And he's just kind of a douchebag and jumps on there saying, how about if you could talk the UFC into it, I'll smash you and Joe on the same night. And ever since then, I was like, all right, it's game on. I'm trying to find this guy. And then, he's been ducking this fight for a long time. There's 2 Chicago cards I try to fight him on, and both times he refused to fight. And then my last fight, he was running the UFC Snapchat in Phoenix. And during my fight, he was talking crap on the UFC Snapchat saying, pretty much just avoiding my fight, just saying, oh, well, now that this is done, we get to the real fights. And I'm like, so I called him on Twitter right away.
Holy shit.
A couple of my buddies told me about it. Yeah, so I was a little worked up because I've been trying to, like I said, I've been trying to fight the guy for so long. And then he's talking crap. So I'm like, okay, you're going to talk shit, and then you're not going to fight. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I call him on Twitter. He blocks me on Twitter. And,
what the hell?
And I was trying to get him to fight.
Can't take
yes,
it.
I was trying to get him to fight in Kansas City. Yeah, I tried to get him to fight in Kansas City, and then he blocked me. And he took another fight in Kansas City, and then he fell off for undisclosed reasoning. No one really knows. It's just, and then luckily, I literally after that I was like, okay, I'm never fighting Johnny Case. He doesn't want to fight. If he wanted to fight, we would have fought 3-4 years ago. And so I'm like, so I was over it. They sent me a fight offer to fight in OKC versus someone else. I accepted that fight right away, and that guy turned down the fight. And just suddenly my manager threw out there, well, what about Johnny Case? And Johnny Case luckily emailed Sean an hour before that, and he's like, you know what, I'm telling him he's got to fight Tony. He just pulled out of his last fight, coming off a loss, and so it just kind of worked out, and I got lucky, and I'm extremely excited for it.
Well, I guess it's safe to say you're motivated.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty long spiel I just threw out there, but I'm pretty excited for this fight, and it's he's definitely a tough fighter. He's got a good skill set, but I think that I I think I'm a better fighter. I think I fought a lot tougher competition, and I think that he's got a pretty big ego, and I think that his arrogance is going to get the better of him.
Yeah, well, hey, real quick, too. Real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
Why do guys? Okay, they want to fight, but then they don't want to fight, and then they talk shit, but then when you say something back, they block you. That's extremely childish for a 27-year-old. I mean, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. I hope. I mean, I hope you destroy this effing guy. That just pisses me off. That pisses me off listening to the story. That's bullshit.
No, I'm not sure if he's even the guy that's running his social media. Because he was.
Well, he needs to fire him.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I'm like, he's making you look like a douchebag. That's not on me.
Big time. He's making him look like a puss.
Well, I mean, it's not unheard of where you have management running, social media accounts. So you look at a lot of guys in the UFC who like I'm gonna throw this name out there is Ali. He manages like Marlon Moraes, Justin Gaethje, Frankie Edgar, Khabib, all these guys, and a lot of times when he sets out tweets, it's usually to kind of put fights together. So a lot of times I laugh when somebody, like, you see fans replying to it. I'm like, you do realize that's not Khabib, or that's not RDA. That's his management putting out a tweet trying to set fights up.
Yeah, but like you said, though, like if I'm gonna have someone run my social media, I want them to at least represent how I'm feeling, And like you said, he's just, I don't know, something about Johnny Cage just rubs me wrong. His whole demeanor seems fake to me. Everything about him seems fake.
I've actually, it's weird because I actually met Johnny when he was dating Jessica I. He came to like a pre-fight party for the Diaz-Anderson Silva fight in New Jersey. So I got to meet him, got to talk to him for a few minutes. I mean, it wasn't enough to kind of base an opinion about his personality, who he is. It's just, been in the same area with him. Don't really, like I said, haven't been around him enough to kind of put together, how I feel he is as a person. I would have to say this is not the first time I've heard somebody say the things that Tony's saying about Johnny, but I'm not going to judge him over it. Listen, we have enough people on social media tearing you guys apart over nothing half the time. That's why I kind of unless there's an actual legitimate problem I have with somebody, I probably won't say anything.
Well, not me, man. Not me, Tony. Not me. That's crap. You need to proofread what your tweets before they go out. I mean, you can hire somebody, but you might want to look at them because, like you said, it represents you as a whole.
Before you send out a tweet, just shoot it my way to make sure I'm good with it.
Well, it was even funnier because of on Facebook, we're also, like I said, we're Facebook friends, and he blocked me on Twitter, and all of a sudden I was messaging through Twitter, and it links into my Facebook. And I was like, hey, I'm not tagging Johnny because I was on my Twitter. I'm not tagging him because he blocked me. And he jumps on my Facebook, and he's like, he said some shit like, bitch, I'm not blocking you. And so I had this screenshot that I'm blocked on his Twitter, and I put it on there, and I'm like, look how dumb you look. Like, you're an idiot. So, like I said, he's obviously, I don't know if he's not running it or what's going on, but he's an idiot. That's all it came down to.
Hey, man, you see fighters beef over less trivial things. At least this time we get to see it get settled inside of a cage. No more words being thrown. It's got to be handled. We're getting in within fight week. June 24th ain't that far away. Tony's already at the hotel there, and where he's going to be getting ready to throw down. So, but I actually want to switch gears real fast. The announcement finally came where the champion in your weight class is taking a boxing match against, arguably the best defensive boxer of all time. We can all kind of agree that that's a fair assessment of Floyd Mayweather.
Yep.
I want to see what your take is on this. He has notoriously had problems with southpaws. We all know Conor is a southpaw. We've seen some of the videos of him working on his boxing. Haven't looked that great. I'm not going to be one of these guys to sit there and say that Conor doesn't have a chance. It's a fist fight. Everyone has a chance. Floyd ain't getting. Conor's probably is going to be the guy who's going to have the fresh legs. He's younger, he's stronger. He still might be quicker, even though Floyd is kind of aging there. I want to know what you think about this, man. I mean, you see a lot of people are kind of on the fence. Some people love it. You hear management's rationalization of why they put this fight together. This is what the fans wanted, et cetera, et cetera. But what do you feel about this, Tony?
Well, I mean, like you kind of said, is congrats to Conor. He got his money fight.
Yeah.
It's the biggest money payday he's ever going to get, that he'll ever see. But outside that, it's a whole different sport. I do a lot of boxing. I box with a lot of boxers. And the whole pressure, the whole distance of the fight game, the size of the ring, everything is so different. And you're talking about a game that Conor's jumping in there with a guy that has mastered this game. He mastered boxing.
Yeah.
Every day, all he's done his whole life is thrown punches and made people miss. He's made the best punchers in the game miss. He's made the best punchers. He's eaten those shots from the best punchers. So I just don't see any realistic chance of him winning. And but I'm not going to hate on him for taking the fight. Like I said, he's going to make ridiculous $60 to $100 million. How am I going to how are you going to hate on someone like that? But if we're talking boxing, I feel like everyone should be talking about the Canelo Triple G fight that's in September. Everyone's talking about this fight, but this isn't a real fight. The Triple G versus Canelo, now that's a real boxing fight. So
I would have to say this is kind of your hype fight to get everyone excited about. I actually think this does more to help boxing than it will do anything for MMA. You have to think about.
I don't think it does anything for the UFC or against the UFC. I don't think it's going to help them or make them look bad or anything. I think it's because really most people that watch the boxing, they either watch the UFC or they don't. It's kind of like one of those things that same thing for the UFC people. Like, we know boxing, but if we're not watching it, we're just not going to – this fight's not going to make us start watching boxing. But
not for $120.
I enjoy watching. Right. No, I think that Conor's in way over his head just because, like we said, this guy, Floyd has made the best punchers in the game look like childs. Look at what he did to Canelo. Canelo's supposed to be one of the best fighters in the world, best punchers, pure punchers, power, and he's also very technical. And he schooled him. He brought him to school. Like, if anything other than Floyd bringing Conor to school the whole time, I would be in utter shock. So, I mean, like you said,
all right, let's make an argument.
Yep.
Let's say make an argument sake. Would you be utterly stunned if Conor puts Floyd on his rear end?
Yeah, I'd bet my life savings.
Wow.
Without a doubt, not even a second guess. If someone came into me and said, whatever you got, whatever you're willing to put up on the table.
A prop bet? like we do in the Super Bowl?
Like, it wouldn't even be a question. Whatever you want, I'll just put it up there. Like, okay, it's easy money. Like, there's no way. If Conor's landing more than 10 punches around, I'd be shocked.
And plus, you got to watch out for that gas tank he has, too. He's going to have to watch that gas tank.
But also, not just the gas tank. You have to. People also tend to forget Conor has an awkward MMA stance. He has a real wide karate base. Where boxing, he can't do that. He doesn't have the the range also because he likes to throw those kicks. He can't throw that kick. All
it's
he
the
has
range.
he won't be able to. I think where he might have where you might say that he might have parts where he wins is in that when you get caught in that boxing clinch when you tie the guy up, prevent them from raining down punches, from close range. I think Conor might have advantage in that clinch, but I still think when it all breaks down to it, that Floyd has all to lose, Conor has everything to gain. But I just think it's regardless of age, time away from the sport, anything like that. Like you say that Floyd has been boxing since he was practically out of diapers. So I mean, he has a wealth
and he's
of
mastered
knowledge.
it. He hasn't just boxed; he's mastered the boxing game. So it's kind of you're. It's not a sport that you just come into and overnight you take over.
Right.
Boxing's it's a whole different game, and
it's a sweet
thing that
science,
would
baby.
take Conor.
The sweet science, yes sir, yes sir.
But no, I don't know if I'll tune in, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm
with you there. I'm not up for the money grab. Is it?
Yeah.
I wish there was
on
some UFC like some MMA fights on the undercard, but there isn't, right? There's none. It's
it's going to be a pure boxing event. It's going to be a pure boxing event. I would say, I would make a statement. Now's the perfect time that we could actually do some crossover things. I'm not talking about other MMA fighters in the card. That does nothing for me because we already know how that'll play out. I'm talking about commentary, announcers, stuff like that. I know it's not going to happen, but let a guy dream. I had already put some tweets out about this. I would love to see Joe Rogan and Mauro Ranallo call that fight. That would be amazing. Probably two of the best color commentary play-by-play guys you could ever ask for. And on top of that, I would actually love to see the Buffer brothers, call both guys in.
That would be pretty awesome.
Get Michael. If you're gonna do it all the way, man. Like yes, I understand it's a Showtime promotion that they have contracts in place with the other guys. Let them call all the other fights just for that one fight. Let's have some fun. Let's do it the right way, right?
And plus, hey guys, there needs to be some Apollo Creed entrance. Apollo Creed entrance kind of deal. There needs to be some big opening where they come out on some kind of float or come from the ceiling or something.
Like Rocky 1 coming out with the float. Like Rocky 1, he's on the float.
Well, it's the one where he fights Dolph Lundgren where he gets killed.
Not talking about.
Oh, you're talking about how he's got
Living in America. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Oh no. I think if you had Floyd do all that before he got in the cage, he might be too tired. I've loved that movie just because the soundtrack Rocky IV, but I've always said that all the running around he did before the fight probably was another one of the main reasons why Drago beat him so bad.
Yeah.
That's just me. I just realized. Oh
shit,
God,
Tony! What the hell?
Yeah, we got Daniel's been sitting on hold in here for like 13 minutes. Let me get Daniel on here before we let Tony go. I just realized he was there. I feel so bad. All right, so we got our caller on here, Daniel. Daniel, what's up, brother? What are you doing, dude?
Okay, how y'all doing? So I'm watching.
At least you're in a
I was
better.
watching.
I'll say this much. I'll say this much, Daniel. I'm glad you're uplifted and in a better mood this week because you scared me last week. So I'm glad you're happy and laughing right now. What questions we got for Tony?
Okay, yeah, Tony, what did it feel like to submit a strawberry as a purple belt?
It felt awesome, and I was, I definitely was more of a pure grappler at that time, so I took my grappling very, very seriously, and obviously, Fabricio was a, high-level black belt that did a lot of competitions, and it was a pretty good story to keep on with my life.
Okay, because not only like you weren't even afraid in the fight, you really like just took him just stayed in his guard. I forgot how the fight went, but I mean you really just stayed on top of him, not being afraid. Like, because that's not how I train. When I train black belts, I'm a blue belt, by the way. I just train just to practice my escapes. But you really just took him down, just submitted him in the first round.
No, yeah, I feel like, honestly, my top game is very, very good. I think that me on top, I'm one of the best grapplers out there. I think that, obviously when you're on your back, you're never in a good spot. So that was just one of those game plans leading into that fight where I felt, Fabricio, if you put him on his back, that he didn't react as well as when he was on top. He was obviously a really good grappler, but I thought my top game is top notch, and I have full belief in my coaches and my ability in the grappling department.
Oh, okay. No, okay. A second question. Why don't you have a nickname yet?
We've been talking about it on Twitter a little bit. People have been talking about it. When I grew up in high school and then even around here, a lot of people call me T-Mark, but it's just one of those things that you can't. It kind of sounds weird if you can't get it announced as Tony T. Martin. It doesn't ring like that.
Yeah,
so
I don't like that either. I don't.
Yeah, so it's kind of nothing's stuck. There's nothing is.
You have to have one of those performances where somebody just sees something in you. Because
right.
I'm a really particular when it comes to just giving out nicknames. I have this thing that you should not be the one to name yourself. It has to be a family member, a coach, a training partner. Like you see, like a lot of I always bring him up. Everyone thinks I hate Joe Warren, but Joe Warren naming himself the baddest man on the planet. Meanwhile, you're a bantamweight or a featherweight. I just really kind of feel that type of name is kind of reserved for, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. Hey, you just can't really say you're the baddest man on the planet if you're
Tony, don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you, because he wanted to name himself Steve the Stallion Rochelle, but I told him that was stupid as shit.
Stallion.
Wait, hey, yeah, look, I got one. Yeah,
oh, man.
But here's one. I call. There's a girl at my church. I call her Wonder Woman sometimes because I'm like, all you need to do is put that headband in your head, and you look like Wonder Woman. But I call her the Oracle sometimes. Okay. You know why? Because oftentimes when I'm wrong, she's right.
But it's ways like that is that how people come up with these nicknames. I think Tony needs like a signature fight to kind of really get him to that point. Hey, you got to remember, some of the best fighters in the world don't even have nicknames. One of my favorite fighters was Forrest Griffin. For the longest time, they were trying to force to give this guy a nickname, and he's just like, you know what? Nah, I'm just Forrest Griffin. Leave me alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just nothing stuck.
Nothing for the longest time, people were trying to give him a nickname. And he just got to the point. He's just a big goof. His self-deprecating humor, all that. There was nothing you could have done or said that would have made him show something. It's just some people are meant to have nicknames, and some people you're just meant to be who you are.
Yeah, you're right.
My full name, but my full name's Anthony Rocco Martin, so I used to come off that, but I somehow we switched back to Tony Martin.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
Maybe you could have get a play on words with the Rocco there, or somehow. I don't know.
No, I know. My mom was going to name me Rocco was going to be my first name, but then she thought I'd get in too many fights, and now we're here.
You thought you'd get into too many fights. Meanwhile, here you go. You're a professional mixed martial artist. Oh man.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Daniel, anything else before we let you go, brother?
What's up?
I do have one more thing. I want to give a shout out to all the fathers out there, and remember this. Some fathers will say these exact words, and I quote, "He may have been your father, but he sure wasn't your daddy." Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I love
Hey.
All right, later, guys.
I love you.
Peace, brother.
All right.
Oh man. Gotta love Daniel giving us some
Tony's
some
like,
laughs during the
What
show.
the hell kind of show is this?
We like that. Listen, I'm sure out of all the interviews he does, he gets the same stuff over and over. I'm sure anything
Yeah,
he's
Tony,
talked about.
What do you do to stay in shape? How much water do you drink during the week? Yeah, okay, we don't ask those questions, bro.
Ugh.
No,
yeah,
that's
Tony.
definitely a nice mix-up for sure.
You don't need a nickname, bro. You don't need one. Screw the nickname. If it comes down the pipeline, so be it. But who cares? With 8 submissions to your name, you're kicking ass, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep working, man. That's all you got to do is just keep grinding.
But
Yeah, because the name is irrelevant at the end. Go ahead, Steve.
Like I said, man, it's either you're meant to have it or you don't. If he was meant to have a nickname, I'm sure it'll happen naturally. You don't have to kind of force it. So, but as we get ready to shut things down for Tony's part in tonight's show, what we typically do is kind of throw the microphone over to you. Anyone you would like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors that you may have, any charities you're working with, anything you want to say. Tony, the time is yours, my friend.
Yeah, obviously I'd just like to thank you guys for having me on. I'd like to thank my family, all my friends that are coming up, my wife, my training partners, my coaches, my chiropractor out in Boston, always taking care of me. And so mostly that is just, thank you guys again for having me on, and
no problem.
Hope to be back.
We definitely want to have you back here, Tony. And what we say to everyone is, best of skill on the upcoming fight with Johnny, man. Hopefully you get the result that you want. I always say, hopefully, you guys both get out of there injury-free no matter what happens, considering everything that's going on in MMA, what just happened to Tim Hague and stuff like that. It's one of the things I say to all you guys. I just hopefully you guys get out of there injury-free, because that's one thing that time you can't get back. And, with how dangerous this sport really is that people don't realize is, it could be taken away from you in a matter of a second. So.
No, thank you guys again. I appreciate it.
All right,
man.
you have a good one.
Take it easy.